Our championship will begin in 5 minutes, and may we now invite all of you to be seated. A friendly reminder to please switch your electronic devices to silent mode. Thank you.
Dear distinguished guests, representatives from universities around the globe teachers, and students. Welcome to the World University's Public Speaking Invitational Championship 2025. We are today's MC.
I am Tianzuo Yuan from the Faculty of Health Sciences and CKLC College.
I'm Jiahuan Zhang, a Year 2 student from Faculty of Social Sciences and LCWC College.
The University of Macau has been committed to fostering a culture of excellence, innovation, and international cooperation, and strives to create a vibrant, diverse, and inclusive academic environment.
This championship demonstrates our commitment to global engagement and building an international cooperation platform to broaden students' horizons.
It provides a unique platform for students to showcase their presentation skills, share their views, and participate in meaningful dialogues that resonate with the global community.
And we are excited to invite students from around the world to participate in our competition, including Singapore, Beijing, Oxford, Tokyo, Zhejiang, Lisbon, Seoul, Vancouver, and Macau.
At the same time, we are honored to invite 5 esteemed judges. They are Mr. Kwang Yo-yang, 2011 and 2014 World Championship of Public Speaking first runner-up.
Ms. Sherry Su, 2018 World Championship of Public Speaking first runner-up.
Mr. Brian Hodgson, public speaking coach with over 40 years of experience.
Mr. Kevin Go, Toastmasters International District 89 Learning and Development Chair.
Ms. Yuki Wong, professional multilingual MC.
Thank you to our judges for traveling all the way from Canberra, Tianjin, London, Canberra, and Hong Kong to be at our event. Thank you to all our important guests for supporting our event.
We hope you will enjoy the insightful speeches and let us witness the crowning of a champion.
Our theme today is creating a diverse future together. And with this event, let's celebrate the power of words and create a better future.
Before we jump into the fun part, there are some rules we have to agree to before we proceed.
Our contest is separated into 3 sections, and the final winners are determined by the total scores awarded by judges in each section. The 3 sections include prepared speech, question and answer, and impromptu speech. Timing for each section will begin with the contestants' first definite verbal or nonverbal communication with the audience. The speaking area is from here to here.
In the prepared speech section, each contestant will give a 4-minute speech based on our theme. And the speakers speaking for less than 3 minutes or more than 4 minutes will have their points deducted from the total score. And the timers are sitting there. The green light signal will be displayed at 3 minutes, and the amber signal will be displayed at 3.5 minutes. A bell will be rung at 4 minutes, and the contestants must finish their whole speech within 15 seconds.
The question and answer session will begin after the contestant's speech. In the Q&A session, Question Master Ms. Ida Wong will ask follow-up questions based on the contestant's prepared speech. The time allotted is 30 seconds to 1 minute. The green light signal will be displayed at 30 seconds. A bell will be rung at 1 minute, and the contestants must finish the speech within 50 seconds.
And in the impromptu speech section, contestants will draw a topic randomly in front of all the audience. And the contestants were not given the specific topics in advance. The time allotted is 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes. The green light signal will be displayed at 1.5 minutes. A bell will be rung at 2 minutes, and the contestants must finish their speech within 15 seconds.
The speaking order for the contest was determined by having our contestants draw for position. The order for the contestants is displayed on our screens.
Now, we are ready to begin. So, timers, are you ready?
Judges, are you ready?
Contestants, are you ready?
Audience members, are you ready? Great. So let the World University's Public Speaking Invitational Championship begin.
Please welcome our first contestant, Shi Hua Chen from Peking University, with her speech titled Feast of Difference, Flavor of Togetherness.
Hi. Hello? Hi. No. Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. Thanks for your patience. Everyone ready? Let's start now. Days ago, over lunch with an Italian friend, he looked at my Chinese meat pie and chuckled. You Chinese love tucking everything inside. We Italians, look at our pizza. We lay it all out for everyone to see. The joke was lighthearted, but insightful. The meat pie is subtle, flavors gently enclosed. The pizza, by contrast, is bold, unreserved, and open. Different food reflects different culture. However, savoring the diverse culture is far more complex than savoring different food. To build a shared diverse future, I'd like to propose 3 progressive steps: see differences, show differences, and finally, embrace differences. Start with seeing differences. Sound like a kid's game? Yes and no. Actually, studies shown that subtle differences are often ignored in cross-cultural communication cases, especially with advancing translation technology. We're so easily cheated by surface similarities. However, psychologists pointed out that one's mother language have a decisive impact on their mindsets and cultures. For instance, a nation with pictographic characters, like Chinese character, are likely to have a more picture-oriented thinking. For example, when talking with a Chinese friend, you may find it a little difficult merely using words or text. However, a little hand gesture or nonverbal language will create a big difference. Eyes are blind. Look with heart. This is what the philosophical fox tells us in The Little Prince. Exactly. Open your heart. As we all know, a complete communication is the exchange of multi-layered thoughts and feelings. What can be translated is only the tiny tip of the iceberg, yet too often to be mistaken for the whole. So open your heart, and then the subtle difference will gradually reveal themselves, and we can lay a foundation for the diverse future. Moving from seeing differences to showing differences, the Chinese proverb says it best: see the world, see all beings, see yourself. 见天地，见众生，见自己. The deeper we understand others, the more courage we gain to show who we truly are. All too often, we mold ourselves to some standard to be accepted, however, not necessarily. No longer ashamed to be slow, we are patient to let ideas grow. No longer ashamed of being sensitive, we are proud to feel the pulse of life. No longer ashamed of being vulnerable, we are proud to let tenderness prevail as true strength. When we see more differences, we are less afraid to be different. Free from the fear of being different, we are ready to contribute to the world as who we truly are. And then, empowered by the courage to show differences, let's move a step further to embrace our differences. Chinese culture has endured for millennia not by resisting other culture, but by integrating them into a bigger whole. Pipa, one of the most iconic Chinese instruments, was actually originally coming from Central Asia. Foreign at first, but today it merged so well with other Chinese instruments. So, my dear friends, a diverse future is not created by hiding behind labels. It is created when we are open enough to see differences, brave enough to show ourselves, and embrace differences that we not yet understand. Diverse, but not divided. Together, but not tethered. Pie or pizza, either way. Let's share it together. Thank you.
Okay, now we will proceed with the question and answer session. Question master.
You talk about true diversities, and it's about the courage to reveal who we really are. So, what is one thing you've been previously afraid to show, like an accent, a perspective, or a part of your culture that now you embrace it? Thank you.
You have 1 minute to answer the question. You can begin your answer.
Okay, thank you. Just during lunch, I had a chat with another contestant. We talk about, are you an introvert or extrovert? Actually, everyone around me think I'm an extrovert because I have the courage to stand up stage to speak for myself. But actually, when I was small, I was introvert, and I'm afraid to talk in front of so many people. This is something I am initially afraid to show others, but now I realize that not only extroverts can share their opinions. Introverts are more careful with their thinking and maybe need more time. However, when they are mature enough, when they think they're ready, they can also have the courage and the opportunity to stand in front of other people to have public speaking. I don't know if you noticed the small snail shells on the way walking through here today. These snails shield themselves inside hard shells to protect against the hard rain. However, not every day is rainy day, and now the sun came out, I believe all the snails are coming out of their shells, trying to embrace the new world. Introvert does not matter. Speak out, think aloud. Thank you.
Thank you. Please stay on the stage. We will have 30 seconds of silence for the judges to mark their ballots.
Okay, so next, let's move on to the impromptu speech section. You have up to 2 minutes to speak on the topic, so please draw the topic.
Okay, this one.
The topic you have drawn is topic number 1.
The topic number 1 is, let's wait our screens. How can we promote cultural exchange in our daily lives? Now we will count down from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You may begin your speech.
Okay, before we begin, I want to show you something. This very tiny little thing. Guess what instrument this is? Looks like a violin, but actually it's not. It's horse head fiddle, a gift my friend gave me when he was volunteered to teach in Inner Mongolia. He said, I give you this gift because every time I see this horse head fiddle, I think of you playing violin. 2 different instruments from 2 different cultures. However, they're connected in his mind because of one person, because of the songs played. So this is what I want to tell today. To promote cultural exchange, first one, it is to believe that there is some mutual things in common beneath different cultures. Despite surface differences, the core may be similar. One culture will be more serious, another one may be more interesting or more casual. However, a smile is the common language among all cultures. And second, when we have the inner agreement of mutual exchange. The second thing is the opportunity and the platform. For example, today, people from different universities, like-minded young adults, we gather here in this hall to exchange our beliefs of different culture. We represent our school, represent different college, different ideas, different culture. However, we are here today to exchange our thoughts, to share our opinions, our different concerns on the topics we both care about. So, to some, I believe cultural exchange is promoted by two things. One in the inner self, one from outside opportunities. From the inner self, we should all believe that the core thing in culture is similar and can be connected. And what outside is that we need more opportunities to share our different beliefs and to speak up for different culture. Thank you.
Thank you. Please be seated. We will have 1 minute of silence for the judges to mark their balloons.
Wait. No sound. Hello? Wait. Oh, sound. Okay.
Okay, so next, let's welcome our second speaker, Xiang Li from University of Macau, with her speech, Yangtze River to Macau.
Hey everyone! A quick check for my new foreign friends. How was your dinner last night? I heard that you all chose dumplings. It's such a surprise that you are all brought together by our Chinese traditional food. So now, one more question. If you had to decode your hometown's cultural DNA through one dish, what would it be? For me, it's a bowl of steaming Yangchun noodles topped with shrimp roll, lovingly made by my mother. My hometown, which is by the Yangtze River, draws its flavors from the river's bounty and the rice-growing traditions. That humble bowl is more than just a meal. It's a fusion of the ancient farming wisdom and the rich fishing heritage. And now I live here in Macau, a city where cultures collide and harmonize. The sweet aroma of Portuguese egg tarts mingles with the savory scent of pork chop buns. These flavors tell stories of the spice trade, colonial history, and Lingnan traditions. When I joined an exchange program at Oxford, I shared my hometown's longevity village breakfast. That simple meal sparked a lively discussion on the Eastern philosophies of harmony and health. From my hometown's riverside charm through Macau's cultural crossroad to the Oxford global classroom, I've learned that food is a universal language, one that connects, heals, and inspires. Can food help us co-create a diverse future? Absolutely. In Europe, communities are brought together by the project Roots and Recipes to share dishes and stories. In the US, youngsters from different backgrounds are taught by the Cooking Project to learn how to make nutritious meals using local ingredients. Globally, the activity Act for Food, Act for Change empowers youth to demand sustainable food systems from their government and businesses. These initiatives show how food can unite us and how youth could lead that way. But what if we take it further? Imagine a virtual platform where youth exchange hometown recipes and collaborate fusion ideas. Envision rooftop gardens of our government buildings with herbs and spices from all around the world. Picture Global Food Festival, where surplus ingredients are transformed into sustainable bowls to celebrate diversity and reduce waste. These aren't just dreams. They are blueprints for our action. Without diversity, we lose creativity, community, and empathy. We lose the flavors that make life rich. We're living in a world that is full of diversity, and most importantly, a world that embraces diversity. Culture knows no borders. Only by respecting differences can we write a brighter future. Only by embracing diversity can we understand the full scope of civilization. As global youth, we are the ambassadors of diversity. So, my dear fellows, let's start with something simple but powerful. Let's start with food. Let's set the table for a future where every dish has a story, every voice is heard, and every culture has a seat. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So next, let's move on to the Q&A session. Question Master.
You spoke about your mother's Yangqun noodles as the DNA of your hometown. If you had to choose one dish that represents you, your personal DNA, who you are today, what would it be and why?
You have 1 minute to answer the question. You may begin your speech.
Well, if I was to choose a bowl that represents me, I would choose the crab noodles. Because the crab noodles gather the essence of a whole crab and put it in a noodle, and the color is beautiful. The moment that you saw this meal, and the first impression is, wow, a surprise. The meal is full of color and full of personal first impressions. And when you taste of it, you're able to feel the delicious meal and the delicious taste of a whole crab. They're all essenced and saturated in this single meal. And I think why it can represent me is that I think I am a person that has a strong color. And I want to leave a strong impression to people and make them feel happy and entertained and maybe satisfied after talking to me, just like having the bowl. Thank you.
Thank you. Please stay on the stage. We will have 30 seconds of silence for the judges to mark their ballots.
Okay, so next, let's move on to the impromptu speech section. You have up to 2 minutes to speak on the topic, so please draw the topic.
The topic you have drawn is the topic number 4.
The topic number 4 is it possible to be friends with someone very different from you? Now we will count down from 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You may begin your speech.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a question first. What's your first impression when people from a foreign country and has totally different color and different styles from you? Well, when I was young, I was afraid. But when I grew up, I gradually found that they are not that scary. They are just normal human beings as we are. When I joined a speech competition in Indonesia, me and my friend were the only 2 Chinese girls in that competition. And all other contestants are from Philippines and Indonesian. And Indonesian girls, they wear kerchiefs. So I was actually pretty afraid to talk to them because I know they have different religions. What if I offend them? Will they feel upset? And what if our cultural belief just differentiated? But we got the chance to stay in the preparation room without cell phones. All we can do is to communicate with each other. And then I talk to them. They tell me the stories of their kerchiefs, their beliefs, and I found that they are just the same girls as I am. I asked them, will you take your kerchiefs off when you're having a shower? Who can you show your hair to? And they all explain to us. And right now, when I see a Muslim girl, when I see a girl with kerchiefs, I found them are not that scary anymore because I know from that experience in Indonesia, I know that they are just normal girls, normal human beings like me. From this experience, I know that every time when I meet with someone who's totally different from me, the first step is not to be afraid, but to take this step first and then try to understand them. We can be polite and try not to offend their cultural religions and something, but we need to be brave to take the initiative in a communication that will improve the cultural exchange, and maybe we can get lifelong friendship. Thank you.
Thank you. Please be seated. We will have 1 minute of silence for the judges to mark their values. So next, let's welcome Yun Sung Lee from Korea University with his speech, Home, a place where you feel like once.
How would you define a home? With that question in mind, let me take you to today's topic, creating a diverse future. Well, let's be honest, diversity is hard. We're wired to feel that way. We're wired to find safety in the sameness. And that's how evolution works. And why do we need diversity? For one, we have the historical evidence. The political theory of Carl Schmitt, a German philosopher, of friends versus enemy, laid foundation to Nazism, which led to the worst historical genocide, which is the Holocaust. When we reject diversity, we reject life itself in its most sacred and valuable richness. But as I told you, diversity is very hard. And I felt that discomfort traveling around the world. And we'll get to that. But let's take biodiversity. If biodiversity of an environment is broken, then it will suffer extinction, so in our societies. So it is clear that we need diversity in our societies. Then how do we build diversity? I want to say that we need to build a physical and emotional spaces that welcome and empower. And I want to take you to the other side of the world to paint you the picture. So earlier this year, I traveled to South America, a wonderful place out there. I totally recommend you to travel there. Anyway, I was in Chile, and I traveled in this beautiful city, Valparaiso. And there I met many locals saying that immigrants were causing instability in their country, which used to be a very peaceful and calm place. Now it's a dangerous place with people in their guns, their hands, in the big cities like Santiago. and the immigrants were to blame because they have no proper education, no job, no shelter. So it makes sense to me. But for Ruben, who migrated himself from Venezuela and now is running a hostel in Valparaiso, was a different story. He found this new home in Chile because not just because he was there, but because he found the family and space that welcomed him. And now he was becoming home to other people by running his lovely hostel. He was becoming home to other people, just like the city did for him. He came, he belonged, and he gave back. So that is my definition. What is a home? It is a place where you are embraced, where you are welcomed. I strongly believe that that is where diversity is born. To build a diverse future, we need to let people come into our zone, not tolerate them at the edges. But that's not enough. We also need strong institutions, institutions that work against polarization and marginalization. Because as you know, we humans are so easy to feel disturbed when we sense divergence from the usual. And that's why it is so easy to try to rule out the people, the minorities people especially, with institutional measures. We need to actively voice and act so that the policies and laws are set up to defend the dignities and rights of all people, especially those whose voices are the easiest to ignore. The sexual minorities, the immigrant workers, people with different thoughts and different backgrounds. So what does it mean to build a diverse future? It means accepting that it will be difficult. It means creating spaces that welcome and empower. It means building institutions that defend the dignities of all people. Diversity is not a decoration. It is a value. It is a constant act of choosing humanity over fear. Let's choose it together.
Okay, thank you. Next, we will move on to the Q&A session. Question Master.
You define a home as a place where you are welcomed and embraced. So what are some concrete steps that you and I can take to make our communities, our companies, or our countries more like this kind of home to foster diversity?
Okay, you have 1 minute to answer the question. You may begin your speech.
So at the first phase of this, making this speech, I thought to myself, what is a home? The topic was diversity, but it came to me to home, which might seem to you as a distant place where you might think is to start the move to make a diverse future. But for me, it is the starting point where our life begins. We start our day at home, and we finish our day at home. That is exactly where I believe where we should start our moves to make a diverse future. It is not something complicated that I wanted to talk to you, because a diversity, when it comes to our mind, it is a very complex idea, but actually it is not. We can start by becoming a good person, becoming a good friend, becoming a good son, or a good partner, or a good family member. And with that mindset, you can go into your school, your workplace, and becoming very friendly to your neighbors and your friends, your colleagues. And that's where you start to understand truly. And with understanding of others, we tend to see each other and we understand each other better. I think that's all it takes to make a diverse future.
Thank you. Please stay on the stage. We will have 30 seconds of silence for the judges to mark their ballots.
Okay, so next, let's move on to the impromptu speech section. You have up to 2 minutes to speak on the topic, so please draw the topic.
The topic you have drawn is the topic number 8.
The topic number 8 is how does travel broaden our understanding of the world? Now we will count down from 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You may begin your speech.
It is a very difficult topic because I have a lot to say about this one. I have traveled, it's not to say around the world, it's a too big of a term, but I have traveled for 4 months around the world where I have never been earlier this year. So I met many friends, many people, like Ruben, as I introduced you in the speech, that I couldn't have imagined at all about how they were living, what kind of person they are, and what backgrounds they come from. And I told about Ruben, so you know him. And we were at this balcony of his hostel, and we were having a great night. And then at one moment, we were just the two of us sitting there and the chair at this. And he just told me that you will never gonna imagine how I have lived. And that struck me hard. Like, yes, I have never imagined, but as he began to develop his life story, it was something that I couldn't have really imagined. Like Ruben, I met many friends from different orientations and different thoughts, different backgrounds. So it's very hard to narrow down to any one single statement. What have you realized, or what was your lesson from your travel? I've traveled for 4 months, 130 days, and when I came back to home, I thought I would be someone very different, but actually I was not. I was someone who just left home for 4 months and came back. But was I the same person as before? Never. I was a totally different person. I just couldn't elaborate, couldn't have articulate what it was. But I felt that difference in myself, and I knew that for the rest of my life, that I would be chasing that sentiment, that feeling, because that travel makes you see new things, makes you do things that you have never done. You go out to the street in the rain, you dance with your friends, you sing as if no one is hearing you. It was a totally enriching experience for me. So I totally recommend you to travel abroad. I'm so glad to meet you guys here. And that is how I would describe travel experience.
Okay, thank you. So please be seated.
We will now collect the ballots for the 3 contestants. Judges, please sign your ballots and hand it to our ballot counters.
So please be seated.
Mic test, mic test, mic test. Not live yet. Mic test, thank you. Yeah, I haven't been announced. Call me up. You have to call me up.
So next, let's welcome Kamal Ashraf bin Kamil Jumet from National University of Singapore with his speech, Bringing Tomorrow.
For most of our lives, we've been told that tomorrow is something to wait for, something that just arrives. Well, I'm sorry, that's a lie. In fact, tomorrow waits for us. That much is true in my homeland, Singapore, a country where multiculturalism is built into our very foundation. See, every Singaporean presents themselves as one united people, regardless of race, language, or religion. And after 24 years of seeing these words put into action, I've realized one thing, that to create a diverse future is to take active and consistent steps towards one another, bridging trust through communication. Now, let me show you what I mean. Back when I was a kid, I was surrounded by a very strange language. My Malay parents spoke it, My Chinese neighbors spoke it, and even my Indian teachers spoke it as well. Once I entered school, I then learned that this magical universal language was called Singlish. Yet, how and why it came about was no accident. Centuries ago, settlers from China, India, and Europe sailed the seas to live and work in Singapore. And waiting for them were the natives, Malays. So if you're counting, that's 4 communities, countless languages, no common ground, and 2 options. Wait for some magical force to unite everybody, or bridge the gap through action. The pioneers chose the latter. So using English as a starting point, they then borrowed from languages like Malay, Tamil, Hokkien, and Teochew to fashion a common tongue. Singlish was born. Now today, Singlish is a testament to the hard work put in by our founding communities, living history in every word that we speak. In fact, a simple invitation to get lunch, or in Singlish, I told you makan, is a cleanstone stitch in the tapestry of diverse Singapore. Since then, the lesson was always clear. A diverse future is one you must take active steps to reach. But 10 years later, that lesson came back 10 times as strong, in the heat of flames and the salty spray of the sea. When I was 19, I was sent to mandatory conscription, a rite of passage for every Singaporean man. After 1 shaved head and 6 months of training, I became a marine firefighter, tasked with saving lives at sea. But when I became a marine firefighter, I realized any moment could be my last. See, every mission, you carry half your weight in body weight, you face heat and exhaustion, and in those moments, the only thing that separates saving a life and losing your own are how well you work with the people beside you. But the decision to trust the people to your left and right, that's not instinct. That's the product of everyday action. See, natural service brings together a bunch of people together from all walks of life, all races, and all religions. But then, like the founders, we had the same issues. Either wait for something magical to bring us all together, or rally ourselves as brothers in arms. Like the founders, we chose the latter. We spent hours together, from the training field to the dinner table. We embraced a common cause to save lives. And, where need be, we broke the ice through good old Singlish. That is where trust comes from. Everyday efforts to build relationships. Now, from the front of the classroom to the back of the visor of my fire helmet, I've seen that a diverse future doesn't happen on accident. In fact, it doesn't just arrive. It waits and waits and waits. So, what's left? Together, let's walk as we should. Run if we can, crawl if we must. Anything to move us forward, because in the end, that's the only way we will bring tomorrow here. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So next, we will proceed to Q&A session. Question Master.
You describe trust as the product of everyday effort built through consistent small steps. Can you give us an example of one small practical step that someone can take in their daily life to actively build that kind of trust with someone from a different background?
Sure.
Okay, you have 1 minute to answer the question. You may begin your speech.
Thank you for your question. I think I'll start with something that's quite general, something that we can all apply in our daily lives. You don't have to be from Singapore to apply these things. These are just how I learned them myself. So one thing I've noticed in terms of interaction is that it has to come from a starting point. Any friendship comes from a simple hello. Any relationship comes from asking someone out, but that's a different story. What I suggest in this situation is to essentially break the ice. But to take a step back, breaking the ice involves addressing any preconceptions you have, addressing any biases you may have that prevent you from establishing contact with somebody else. Once you address that main factor, then are you able to make that first step and say hello. Once you interact and once you grow in your relationship with that person, that becomes a friendship. And I think that all stems from a key single point of breaking the ice, and even before that, the premise of addressing your own internal misconceptions. Thank you.
Thank you. Please stay on the stage. We will have 30 seconds of silence for the judges to mark their ballots.
Okay, so now let's move on to the impromptu speech section. You have up to 2 minutes to speak on the topic. Please draw the topic.
The topic you have drawn is topic number 7.
The topic number 7 is how do friendships shape our personal growth? Now we will count down from 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You may begin your speech.
Tabula rasa. This is the philosophical concept that we all begin as a blank slate. How then are letters written onto our identity? How else do we become who we are? It all depends on the people around us who shape our experiences, shape our worldview, shape the person that we are. And that stems from interactions. Friendships are a key part of who we are as people because these are the people who we have our most intimate conversations with, our everyday needs, our everyday tasks. These are the people who help us along. But to be specific, friendships are people who shape not just your worldview, but how you view life in general. If I may share a story, I have seen how, as an indigenous minority in Singapore, it's always difficult to live in a world where not everyone looks like you, not everyone speaks like you, and sometimes you're the only Malay guy in the entire class. What then helps shape your worldview is somebody who doesn't look like you, someone who doesn't talk like you, and definitely doesn't look like you, walking up and checking, hey, are you okay? You want to get lunch? These interactions help to tell a very important story, that the people who will back you, the people who will cheer you on and cheer your name, don't have to be from your home community. And this is a very important lesson, especially when it comes to multiculturalism. There is always a temptation to say that I'm where I am, you are where you are, and we accept that we're different. But I wager that there's a far more important way to address multiculturalism, and this has been explicitly shaped how my friends treated me as an ethnic minority. When they are allies towards my needs, finding places for me to pray, finding food that I can eat, allowing me to celebrate my traditions in a way that is best, this is how I've seen the world and how my friends have treated me. I am tabula rasa no more. Thank you.
Thank you. We will have 1 minute of silence for the judges to mark their ballots. Please be seated. So next, let's welcome Jianing Jia from Zhejiang University with his speech, Weaving Diversity with Technology. Welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. When I was young, technology attracted me for its invincible power of changing the world drastically in terms of connectivity, accessibility, and efficiency. As I grew older, I gradually realized that the true significance of technology lies not only in changing the world, but also in not changing it, in protecting what is endangered, and in preserving the diversity that already exists. Let me first take an example to show you that technology serves as an umbrella for the endangered species. The crested ibis, a bird species once on the brink of extinction, has made an incredible comeback thanks to advanced technology. By the 1980s, the species was believed to be extinct in the wild until 7 individuals were rediscovered in 1981. This was when artificial incubation technology stood out. Scientists used temperature-controlled incubators to maximize hatching success. Sperm cryopreservation was used to preserve genetic material. Specialized diets were designed by nutritionists to ensure survival of baby chicks. Thanks to all these efforts, the global population has rebounded to over 7,000 birds, with stable wild populations in China, Japan, and South Korea. But diversity isn't just biodiversity found in forests and rivers. It also lies in the kaleidoscopic human creations that differ from region to region, but pass from generation to generation. Technology is the oasis that preserves culture. In the hands of young developers, disappearing dialects are becoming digital voice banks, and ancient musical instruments are being reproduced through virtual performance platforms. From guqin melodies rendered in holograms, to paper cutting patterns preserved in blockchain galleries. When tribal songs echo across the cloud, when ancestral crafts come alive in the digital realm, we realize technology doesn't erase traditional and cultural heritage, it preserves them. But, dear friends, the diversity brought by technology is not automatic. It must be achieved by us together. And that is exactly what I am trying to achieve. As a debater and public speaker, I constantly voice out for diversity, for the creatures that lost their habitats because of human development, for the substantial dialects that are decaying due to negligence and indifference, for the endangered techniques that are fading due to lack of attention. Simultaneously, as a student majoring in STEM, I always focus on the application of scientific research, on how the outcomes can be utilized in real-world preservation of endangered things for the sake of diversity, either tangible things like animals, plants, and architectures, or intangible things like dialects, techniques, and rituals. The core is simple. We should use technology as a cradle of diversity, which requires it to be a guardian for the endangered minorities instead of a killer of them. Yes, technology can either silence difference or amplify diversity. The choice is ours. Let us utilize technology and create a diverse future together. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we will proceed the Q&A session. Question Master.
You mentioned using your STEAM skills for preservation. If you were given some budget and a team to work on one project to save one endangered thing, whether a species, a dialect, or a craft, what would you choose and why?
You have 1 minute to answer the question. You may begin your speech.
Thank you for your question. My major is psychology. Psychology now is a subject that focuses on conveying people. There is a sub-subject of psychology called neuromarketing. This is aimed at conveying our ideas to people and advertising them and conveying them in a way that is very persuasive and can make people feel immersed and correlated with that. With this, we can conduct EEG or fMRI studies to experiment how people react when they actually get this current publicity of those endangered things, while we can also make innovative comparisons about new ways to propagate those kinds of endangered things. With this kind of comparison, we might be able to find which kind of thing can arouse the most emotional response in these human beings, and thus we can find a way to more effectively convey the method and information to these human beings that these kind of endangered things matters and is like correlated with our daily lives. Thank you.
Thank you. Please stay on the stage. We will have 30 seconds of silence for the judges to mark their ballots.
Okay, so next, let's move on to the impromptu speech section. You have up to 2 minutes to speak on the topic, so please draw the topic.
The topic you have drawn is the topic number 2.
The topic number 2 is how can friendships bridge cultural differences? Now we will count down from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You may begin your speech.
The current major problem of facing cultural difference is because people don't have the incentive to understand each other from different cultures. This is what friendship uniquely solves. I think friendship works in 3 levels. On the first level, it gives us a reason to delve into another culture and figure out the information details about that culture. With friends, when we're communicating with them in our daily lives, or when we're planning to give them a gift, or we're planning to hang out with them to some places, we will have to delve into their culture to figure out which kind of things they really like. I think this is the first level that directly works on you to give you a unique incentive to delve into the culture. Secondly is about access. I think a lot of times we don't have access to really understand another culture. While if you have a friend in that culture, it perfectly solves this problem because you have a lot of chances to communicate with each other. When you're friends, you can ask about various kinds of questions without really needing to worry about something. When you're really close friends, then you might get accustomed to their daily routines. You might know their habits in their daily lives. You might know a lot of things about their families, about their countries, and this is what gives you access to this kind of cultural difference. And thirdly, is that with a friend, you are willing to expand your friend's expenditure, which means when you have a friend from a culture, likely you will meet his friend in some parties, which gives you access to a lot more people with an interpersonal net. This interpersonal net can keep expanding when you know more and more people from different cultures and gives you understanding and insight about different cultures. I think this is what friendship uniquely does. By providing access, by providing incentive, and by providing opportunities to form more intricate interpersonal nets. Thank you.
Thank you. Please be seated. We will have 1 minute of silence for the judges to mark their ballots.
Can hear me.
Okay, so next, let's welcome Rita Conduto from Lisbon University with her speech, Diversity, the Double-Edged Sword. Welcome.
I was told I had to talk to you about creating a diverse future together. And I bet that when you hear the sentence, diverse is the word that goes off loudly in your head. But is it the keyword in the sentence? I'm Rita, and I don't think so. And don't get me wrong, I do believe that diversity is a topic of great importance, and it has been throughout human history. Darwin's theory of evolution is based on it. The fittest wouldn't be the fittest if they were equal to the other living beings. God, human beings would not even exist as we know them if they hadn't had some distinct mutation in their DNA. So why do we fight so much against diversity? I mean, nature is constantly showing us that diversity is the solution to our common problems. And I do believe that the key word in the sentence is together. Creating a diverse future together. Let me give you an example. And pardon me, because my area of studies is medicine. But wouldn't we be genetically predisposed to bear the same diseases if we were all the same? Imagine a child with leukemia, her life hanging by a thread. Her only shot at surviving is to find an identical donor, yet different enough that can lend her their bone marrow. This difference, this diversity, is what allows her to live, and it's just as important as the resemblance that allowed her to find that donor. I do know that diversity has been both what has driven humanity and also the core of countless wars and conflicts. How can the foundation of our existence be simultaneously the very same thing that destroys us? We have this opportunity here where, besides being different, we actually have the ability to learn from it and enjoy it as a community. So why do we keep wasting that? Different interests and different points of view have guided scientific curiosity through miraculous drugs, exams, tests, scientific breakthroughs. Not only the engine of diversity, also the soul of art. From symphonies to the Mona Lisa, from the Nutcracker Ballet to the Statue of David, we have several examples of different ways of looking at the world and expressing that view. And they were left behind for us to admire. We must look at the good things diversity has brought us, instead of being afraid of it and ending up judging it. When conflict rises, our natural behavior is to create more space between people, and that should not happen. Couldn't the world be more beautiful and productive if we all embrace diversity instead of despising it? It's in all of our hands to turn diversity into a bridge instead of a wall. So let me reframe it. Let's create a beautiful future together. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. So we will proceed with the Q&A session. Question master.
You conclude that it's in our hands to turn diversity into a bridge instead of a wall. What is one specific behavior or action that acts as a brick to build this bridge?
You have 1 minute to answer the question. You may begin your speech.
Thank you. So that's a perfectly fair question. And as I try to pass through my speech, I think diversity is a double-edged sword, and our goal here is to make it one double-edged sword. And as one of my colleagues already told, and I think I don't want to repeat them, but I really think that's the better and the best example possible. I think it's through smiles. Because I remember this time where I was, like, I don't know, coming from uni, and I was entering my building, and I saw this cleaning lady, and I just told her, like, hi, good morning, and smiled. And she was so happy, and she looked at me and said, like, this thank you with her eyes shining, and I really felt that made a difference in her day. So if it makes a difference in one person's day, I am sure that it can make a difference in our cultures and in creating this diversity, a diverse future altogether.
Thank you. Please stay on the stage. We will have 30 seconds of silence for the judges to mark their ballots.
So next, let's move on to the impromptu speech section. You have up to 2 minutes to speak on the topic. Please draw the topic.
Thank you.
The topic you have drawn is the topic number 9.
The topic number 9, which is how can education promote global understanding? Now we will count down from 10, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You may begin your speech.
Thank you. So how can education promote a global understanding? That's a really interesting question, and it's about a topic I really like. Because I feel like education is fundamental to everything, really. I mean, we wouldn't be the people we are if we've had been into a different school with different people, different teachers. So it really helps you to grow. And I do believe that more, texts, books, even movies, because there's a lot of them right now, should be included in our educational program to broaden our horizons of other cultures. That's where it starts. It starts at preschool when you're, well, for good and for bad, living and playing with the other children that are probably from your country and probably from the same city as you. So you don't get to see anything different. And it starts there. It starts when you're a little kid with, 3 years old, playing with dolls or, football, basketball, whatever you want. And maybe that should be also included in a playtime. Why shouldn't we try to choose other instruments? How the first contestants told us about. Why shouldn't we try to bring those kind of lessons and classes to our students? So we give them an opportunity to know other cultures. I know I'm repeating myself, but I do believe it starts there. So how can education promote global understanding? With more topics about different cultures, with more activities, and with a smile about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Please be seated. We will now collect the ballots for the 3 contestants. Judges, please sign your ballot and hand it to our ballot counters.
Next, let's welcome Himene Tanaka from the University of Tokyo with her speech, Diversity Begins at the Table. Welcome.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. What does it mean to create a diverse future together? We often talk about diversity, ethnicity, religion, gender, but there's another important aspect we sometimes forget: the diversity in what and how we eat. Today, I want to share how Japanese cuisine, washoku, can uniquely contribute to a more inclusive and diverse future. As a child, I spent many afternoons at my grandparents' small cafe in Japan. International students from China and Korea often came by, and every time they tasted my grandparents' carefully prepared meals, their faces would light up. They would say, "This is so delicious It gives us energy. Even then, I could see it. Food has the power to go beyond borders and bring people together. Years later, during my university exchange in Australia, I truly experienced the challenge and beauty of food diversity. My dorm was filled with students from around the world. We decided to host a Japanese food party, but quickly ran into a problem. One friend from Qatar followed Islamic dietary laws. Everything had to be halal. Another friend from India didn't eat beef due to religious beliefs. How could we include everyone? Together, we carefully planned the menu. Sushi with vegetable and fish, crispy vegetable tempura, and udon noodles in a vegetarian broth made from plant-based ingredients like mushroom and kelp. When we sat down to eat, our Qatari friend said, "I never thought I could enjoy Japanese food and still follow my dietary rules." Our Indian friend smiled. "I'm so happy I could explore your culture without worry." That moment showed me that true inclusion means creating shared experiences where everyone feels respected. So why was Japanese cuisine able to bring us together so naturally? Because at its core, it embraces simplicity. Instead of relying on heavy spices or fats, it draws out the natural flavor of ingredients. The foundation is often a simple, clear broth made from plant-based ingredients like mushrooms and kelp. This minimalist approach naturally avoids many dietary restrictions. It creates space on the plate and at the table for everyone. Creating a diverse future doesn't have to be a broad, complicated project. It can begin with a simple yet profound act of sharing a meal. So I ask you all, look at your table. Who is missing? Invite someone new, someone whose background is different from yours. This experience taught me that diversity isn't a problem to solve, but a masterpiece to create. And we are all the artists. Let us begin creating that beautiful, diverse future together. One plate, one table, one connection at a time. Thank you.
Now we will proceed with the Q&A session. Question Master.
You describe diversity as a masterpiece to create, not a problem to solve. Why is shifting from a problem-solving mindset to a creation mindset so important for building general diversity?
You have 1 minute to answer the question. You may begin your speech.
Okay, thank you for your question. So first of all, I believe that this idea I explained in my speech can be applied to almost any other cuisine. In fact, even Japanese udon noodle often includes meat or fish. But what's really important is our mindset to understand the people at your table, to learn correct information, and to get to know the people who are going to eat together and show your mind to eat with them happily and smiley. So that's why I believe that this is a masterpiece to create. Thank you.
Thank you. Please stay on the stage. We will have 30 seconds of silence for the judges to mark their ballots.
Okay, next, so let's move on to the impromptu speech section. You have up to 2 minutes to speak on the topic. Please draw the topic.
The topic you have drawn is the topic number 6.
The topic number 6 is how can young people make a positive impact in their communities? Now we will count down from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You may begin your speech.
Okay, for example, in terms of culture, the culture is something we can find in our everyday lives. Let me start by sharing a personal story. Our dinner table usually has rice, miso soup, and a few side dishes. And one day, I posted a photo of our dinner on social media. A friend from another country sent me a message asking, "Do you always eat a full meal like that for dinner?" Well, he told me that in his country, it's normal for family members to eat at different times and eat whatever they like for dinner. As we talked more, I learned that the real meaning, his culture is also a wonderful culture which values each person's time and freedom. And I believe that if it weren't for social media, I don't think I could have ever even noticed a cultural difference like that. So I strongly believe that because of the social media, and especially young people who can use this social media effectively, we can understand the culture which are different from ours and deeply understand about their culture. Thank you.
Thank you. Please be seated. We will have 1 minute of silence for the judges to mark their ballots.
Next, let's welcome Xinyi Wang from Tsinghua University with her speech, Minority Moments. Welcome.
Testing. Okay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. When we talk about diversity, we often tend to think about racial inclusiveness, gender equality, LGBTQ rights, etc. Those are certainly very important diversity topics, but today I want to focus on an unconventional minority group. I wish to introduce a concept called the minority moment. It refers to the idea that all of us might become the minority at one point of our lives, which means the minority group could be us. I came up with this idea after hearing two heartbreaking stories. The first one happened recently. I heard it from my grandpa's caretaker, who was a countryside woman. In her village, there was a 70-year-old woman. She had some chronic illnesses, she had very low pension, and her husband had died many years ago. But she had no one to take care of her because her sons and daughters are all working far away from home to make a living. One day, her door did not open as usual. When her neighbors broke into her house, They saw that she had already drunk pesticide. The other story happened in the city. A high school student jumped off the building the night before a midterm exam. This came as a surprise because he was always so cheerful and optimistic, and he had very good grades. But it was also true that his high school was very competitive and his parents were very strict. I think these two stories reveal a very painful truth. Rapid development has an unfriendly side. During this process, some people become the minority. They're marginalized, overlooked, and trapped. While some may argue that they're not the minority, there are many people like that. But I want to say that's exactly the point. The majority can also become the minority if they're neglected, if their voices are not heard, if they're weak and fragile and need help. Therefore, on this stage today, I wish to propose 3 points if we were to find a possible solution. First, collective effort. Today, economy and technology are thriving, and actually we have greater chances than ever to make a possible change. But we cannot do this alone. No individual can ever do that. This can only happen if it's a collective effort. Second, starting small. Open our eyes and look around us to see what we can change. Look at the world through a different lens. I actually think many people today, especially young people like me, we're living lives that are way too smooth. We're born in big cities, we go to the best schools, but that's not an excuse for us to not see the misery that's happening around us. Third, international dialogue. The problem that I proposed is not happening in any single country. In fact, it's happening in many parts of the world. That's why I think people should step out of their comfort zones, talk with people from other countries, and see what people can learn from each other. This is exactly why I think this very beautiful occasion of a speech contest can embody the spirit of international dialogue. Now, despite the sad stories that we may hear, I also want to say that I'm not all hopeless. The woman who attempted suicide was saved after her neighbors found her. And the boy who jumped off the building also survived. He came back to school 2 years later. Well, I know that because he used to be my classmate, and I can see he's getting better. In ancient Chinese philosophy, an ideal diverse society should be one in which all the elderly are respected, the adults are employed, and the young are taken care of. Now that 2,000 years have passed, we may ask ourselves, are we any closer to that vision? Thank you.
Thank you. Let's move on to the Q&A session. Question Master.
You urge us to start small and open our eyes to see the struggles of those around us. For our audience members, what steps can we take this week to truly see and help others in their own community having a minority moment?
You have 1 minute to answer the question. You can begin your speech.
Thank you very much for your question. I want to make a bold suggestion. I want to say we should step out of our campus. Go out of the school. It's not to say that the school is bad, which I actually feel that the University of Macau is wonderful. But I think when all of us are immersed in education, for me, the past 21 years of my life, it's just studying and getting better grades. All I see is education. However, if we step out of the school, we can see what's happening in the society. We can see, for example, in front of the supermarket, there might be people begging for money. And there might be people who pick rubbish for a living. They sell rubbish. And only when we see that can we open our eyes and know there are people different from us and that we might take compassion of them and maybe help them if we can. But that's a bold suggestion. Stepping out of the campus is difficult.
Thank you. Please stay on the stage. We will have 30 seconds of silence for the judges to mark their ballots.
Let's move on to the impromptu speech section. You have up to 2 minutes to speak on your topic. Please draw the topic.
The topic you have drawn is the topic number 5.
The topic number 5, which is how does food bring people from different cultures together? Now we will count down from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You may begin your speech.
Thank you very much for this topic. Actually, my grandfather is a chef, so he's a professional chef. He cooks Huaiyang cuisine, because I come from Nanjing. And ever since I was a kid, I know that my dad is trying to replicate my grandpa's recipes, but he never made it. But like, I would know that this kind of gene is inherited directly to me, because I know how to cook ever since a young age. And last year, I was exchanging at the University of Oxford, and because of the semester, I couldn't spend Spring Festival back in China, and so I had to do that in the UK. And I came up with this idea that all the students abroad, Chinese students there, should celebrate Spring Festival by making dumplings together. And so I thought, why don't we hold this event? And then I realized I don't know how to make dumplings because it's not my family cuisine. So I had to start from scratch, but I was the person in charge of the kitchen, and so I had to buy all the ingredients, the flour, the fillings. I had to make the fillings. And so we ended up inviting over 100 people to our college hall. Many of them are Chinese, but many others are from many different countries and ethnicities I can remember. We had to teach them how to make dumplings. But it's a fun fact that Chinese people make dumplings very fast, but they're broken easily. But those foreign people, they make dumplings very carefully, and all of their dumplings are very well made. And in the end, I realized that this story, well, dumplings, in fact, helped shape my understanding of friendship and culture as well, because I started learning dumplings from scratch just like the other people, and I knew that this kind of mutual understanding with a food that symbolizes reunion and family is something that we can all learn. And it's a fun fact that we also made meat dumplings and vegan options as well. So there are 2 types of dumplings that we can make. Thank you.
Thank you. Please be seated. We will have 1 minute of silence for the judges to mark their ballots.
Next, let's welcome Amy King from Oxford University with her speech, Creating a Diverse Future Together. Welcome.
A diverse future is one we should all strive to create. And yet, amidst the political turmoil of today's world, creating a diverse future seems an almost impossible task. So what is a diverse future? A diverse future is one where gender, race, religion, sexuality, age, socioeconomic background, and more are represented. Diversity need not be a faraway concept. We see diversity here in the present, in this room, and we see the product of a diverse past on Macau. Macau's language, Patua. Macau's food, Potat. Macau's architecture, the ruins of St. Paul's, are all examples of how a diversity of geographical influence have shaped the Macau we know today. A diverse future is one where a female engineer is not out of place, where an African-American US president is not out of place, and where a gay prime minister is not out of place. So now we understand what a diverse future is. Why should we strive to create one? To all of you, I hope the answer is obvious, but a diverse future is one worth creating because it is one where it's not your chromosomes or where you went to school that determines your seat at the table. And yet, creating diversity at school, in the workplace, in politics, is a divisive topic. There are many who criticize the diversity, equity, and inclusion policies, and they often argue that these policies push companies to hire individuals unqualified for the role. But this is simply not the case, because these individuals create quantifiable financial benefit. According to research published by Deloitte, companies that used this kind of innovation and these kind of cultures where they were diverse increased innovation revenues by 83%, whereas the likelihood of bankruptcy was reduced by 20% if there were a woman on the board. So now I've answered the who, the what, the where, the when, and the why. But the most difficult question remains, the how. I think for some comfort, we must look to the past. After all, the battles that have been fought and won in the past are the reason we see diversity in the present. Let us look to women first getting the vote in the UK in 1918, to the Civil Rights Act in the US in 1964, and to the decriminalization of same-sex sexual activity here in Macau in 1996, as evidence of how we can work together to make the world a more diverse place. That we must do it together is obvious. Diversity is the very product of the mixing of various groups. And there is a saying that variety is the spice of life, and I really do believe that to that end, diversity is the very essence of it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We will proceed with the Q&A session. Question Master.
You stated that diversity is the very product of the mixing of various groups. As an individual, what is one specific thing you believe every person in this room can do to actively mix groups and contribute to the goals?
You have 1 minute to answer the question. You may begin your speech.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I think that's a really, really interesting question. I think it takes a little bit of confidence. I think it takes that initiative to put yourself out there. You don't have to speak perfect Chinese, for instance. In my case, yesterday, I was speaking to the cleaning lady, and I was talking to her, and I said, 天气不好，对不起，我的中文不好. And it was a very rusty conversation in Chinese, but it took that little bit of confidence. She didn't speak English. I wanted to be able to connect with her. And if I had been afraid that I was going to make various very embarrassing grammar mistakes, then I wouldn't have been able to connect with her. So I think it is that little bit of putting yourself out there that really makes the difference.
Thank you. Please stay on the stage. We will have 30 seconds of silence for the judges to make their ballot.
Let's move on to the impromptu speech section. You have 2 minutes to speak on the topic. Please draw the topic. The topic you have drawn is topic number 3. the topic number 3, which is how can students from different countries learn from each other? Now we will count down from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You may begin your speech.
Thank you very much. So I'm a languages student, so I'll admit to being slightly biased when I answer this, but I really do think that language learning is the key to being able to learn from each other. You know, I think that especially in the UK, we maybe have a bit of a bias that English is a universal language, and everyone assumes that everybody else will speak English if they come from another country. But that absolutely isn't the case. That isn't the case with the anecdote I gave about the cleaning lady, and I think that isn't the case because you can really connect to other people more when you learn their language. There are little things that pop up in the culture. There are things that pop up in the way that you describe a certain event that are so tied to understanding that language. And so I think when it comes to understanding each other, we should really do it from a place of trying to put ourselves in their shoes and put ourselves in their shoes directly by learning that language. I think this can be in a variety of different ways. We've heard lots of different examples today: books, movies, language apps. They're all going to be a fantastic tool to help all of us to understand where somebody else is coming from. I think that, you know, when you have so many different idioms in English to say that it's raining outside, it's raining cats and dogs, it's pouring it down, it's bucketing it down, all of those little things come injected with an element of humor. And they come with an understanding of British culture. And I think I can see that in the other languages that I speak. I can see that here when I'm trying to muddle my way through some Chinese. And I think that that is so key to being able to understand each other, not just as students, but as individuals from around the world. So that's what I'd suggest, learning a new language.
Thank you. Please be seated. We will now collect the ballots for the 3 contestants. Judges, please sign your ballot and hand it to our ballot counters.
Next, let's welcome Sofia Lopez Castillo from University of British Columbia with her speech, Moving Beyond Quotas, Creating Inclusive Artificial Intelligence. Welcome.
I fill a quota. I check a box. I meet a requirement. Good day, esteemed judges, honored guests, and fellow competitors. For someone like me, a Canadian Latin American woman, often invited into rooms for optics, not for substance, that kind of diversity is no longer enough. And now, as artificial intelligence, AI, becomes part of our daily lives, diversity must move beyond box checking and be built into the voices shaping technology. Because if those voices are narrow, our future will be too. And that is a problem. Artificial intelligence is developed by a few affluent countries and organizations, meaning it only learns from limited perspectives, often amplifying dominant voices while marginalizing others like mine. These artificial intelligence tools that are built from these narrow perspectives are highly consequential. AI forces us to think, what does the future of diversity look like? And who gets to be part of it? For example, right now, facial recognition tools integrated in our phones, airports, border controls are hardwired to misidentify people of color. Technologies like these do not just reflect an evident prejudice. They entrench it. Behind them are male-dominated teams, non-inclusive data, and code lacking ethical guardrails. But here's the truth. We are not powerless. AI can and must be built on human-centered design, serving underrepresented perspectives, identifying biases, and educating the public on its impact. Although machines can process data, only humans can lead with emotional intelligence, creativity, and purpose. We've already seen AI's potential, from enhancing accessibility for the visually impaired to supporting mobility rehabilitation. Milestones all made possible because all voices were heard. This is our superpower. Human progress has always been driven not just by invention, but by inclusive innovation. Let us not build AI to mirror the flaws of our past, but to realize the possibilities of our destiny, where every voice is heard and understood. Bringing all voices into AI, that's how we create a diverse future together. Because I am not just a box to be checked, and neither are you. Thank you.
Now we will proceed with the Q&A session. Question Master.
You state we are not powerless. For someone in this room who isn't an AI developer or a tech CEO, perhaps a student, a teacher, or an artist, what is one tangible way they can assert their power to demand more ethical and inclusive AI?
You have 1 minute to answer the question. Now you can begin your speech.
Thank you for the question. So I'm actually an art student studying political science, so I'm definitely not an AI developer myself. But working with NGOs and with Indigenous students and youth, helping them build out their own startups, has taught me that within our systems, DeepSeek, ChatGPT, there's a lot of biases, and it's our responsibility to understand that and to be cognizant that the media that we receive and the information that we get might be a bit flawed. And I think this is shared amongst students, it can be shared amongst media, and it's just setting that out there and setting that information out there so people know. And so you're aware that what you receive on these tools that are very easily available and that are great tools that I use as well, you know, it might have a little bit of flaw. So it's just being a little more cognizant, a little more empathetic, and understanding some difficulties between diversity and understanding some difficulties between as well the knowledge that we receive on these tools.
Thank you. Please stay on the stage. We will have 30 seconds of silence for the judges to mark their ballots.
Now, let's move on to the impromptu speech section. You have up to 2 minutes to answer the question. Please draw the topic.
The topic you have drawn is the topic number 10.
The topic number 10. Why should we preserve traditional cultures in a globalized world? Now I will count down from 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You may begin your speech.
My grandma always used to say, "Nunca te olvides de tus raíces." Never forget about your roots. Good day, esteemed judges, honored guests, fellow competitors. As a proud Peruvian immigrating from Peru to Canada when I was very young, culture and heritage has been a part of my life ever since I've known. Indigenous Peruvian cultures, the food that we share, the color, my bracelet, it's been a part of my Latin American roots ever since I've known. And this question, when I got it, I actually quite literally smiled, because there's two main reasons, and I can point them out quite easily, why I think it's important to preserve this culture within diversity and within this globalized world. And one is maintaining family connection. Obviously, stereotypically, I am of a person that has 7 million cousins, 7 aunts, 7 uncles, so all those Latin American stereotypes are very much to me. And to me, it's an important vehicle as I grow as a person, as I travel around the world to Macau, to Taiwan, to so many countries, just Hong Kong last week, that I can maintain my connection to my family. It's a really important part of who I want to be and the person that shapes me and my background. As well, I think just to create a diverse future, we need to understand our roots. We need to understand our ancestors. And this means sometimes tying in your heritage. It could be religious, it could be food, like all my other competitors said. There's so many different ways that we can connect it, and it's just so key and so fundamental to preserving your own heritage, but also preserving the heritage of the world, preserving diversity. And again, this question, to me, is something that I will always maintain. I will always be proud of my Peruvian roots. I will always be proud of my family. And I will always be proud of the diversity I can build together through heritage. Thank you.
Thank you. Please be seated. We will have 1 minute of silence for the judges to mark their ballots.
Next, let's welcome Benjamin Thomas from Stanford University with his speech, Build Ways, Not Fear. Welcome.
It is a great honor to close out this event today. Now, picture this. A crate of brand new laptops arrives at a remote island school. All the students gather around eagerly. But as they use their laptops, they begin to struggle. Many of these students have never used a computer before. And even worse, the educational software is only available in English and Spanish, despite the fact that these students only speak their local languages. And then one laptop dies, and soon another. And inevitably, they all do. But this is a rural village with intermittent power. Most of these laptops will never be turned on again and become nothing but expensive paperweights. And I want to be clear, this is not a one-off story. In the early 2000s, many well-intentioned educational programs had failures much like this, even if the particulars of the technology were a little bit different. That's why this is not a story about failed technology. Rather, this is a story about failed design. Because in order to build a diverse future together, we have to design a diverse future together. And in order to design together, we have to move beyond traditional notions of design and embrace participatory design. In participatory design, we make community engagement the first priority of design at every stage of the process, because our world contains far more diversity than any individual could possibly design for alone. We are diverse in culture, we are diverse in ability, we are diverse in lifestyle, and we're even diverse in personal preference. That's why when we invite the community to design with us, they bring perspectives that outsiders would miss. Imagine if that laptop program, instead of assuming what the students needed, had been designed with the students and the teachers from day one. What would happen? A different program did exactly that, and that's why it succeeded. By working with rural teachers from day one, the designers realized something crucial. The students didn't need to master complex technology. Rather, the students needed tools that worked seamlessly in the world they actually lived in. So instead of shipping standard laptops that require constant electricity and constant connectivity, they designed low-power, solar-friendly digital libraries loaded with local language reading materials. Today, in many countries, devices just like this are used, and they have dramatically improved learning outcomes. I believe that the lesson from this is clear. The diverse future that we want will not happen on accident. Rather, it will happen by design. So the question needs to be, whose design is it going to be by? Because here's what I've learned. Diversity is not just about who sits at the table, but rather it is also about who gets to build that table. When we choose participatory design, we are choosing to build a diverse future, and we are choosing to build it together. So let's stop designing for diverse communities and start designing with diverse communities together. Only then can we build a future as diverse and varied and beautiful as the people who inhabit it. Thank you.
We will now proceed with the Q&A session. Question Master.
Participatory design sounds ideal, but it can be slower and more expensive. Someone will argue that in a crisis or with limited resources, it's more efficient for experts to just build the solution themselves. So how will you respond to that?
You have 1 minute to answer the question. You can begin your answer.
I was really hoping you'd ask me that because it's the million-dollar question, and I didn't have time to address it in the 4-minute speech. So I want to be clear. There is no one-size-fits-all approach to design. Because as we all know from shopping, one-size-fits-all is one-size-fits-none. We have to acknowledge that different circumstances require different tool sets. And for example, in a crisis, there's a hurricane, now is not the time for participatory design. But it's not just because there's a crisis. The reason participatory design is important is when there's a gap between what the problem is and what the needs are. So for example, it's easy to identify that poverty is a problem, or lack of housing is a problem, but what people need to solve that problem might not be clear. That's why slowing down and doing participatory design to figure out what people actually need is important. But when there's a hurricane, I know what people need. They need a tent and they need to go somewhere else. So there's no need to slow down. And that's how we know when participatory design is the right tool for the job.
Thank you. Please stay on the stage. We will have 30 seconds of silence for the judges to mark their ballots.
Let's move on to the impromptu speech section. You have up to 2 minutes to answer your topic, so please draw the topic.
I'll take 12.
The topic you have drawn is the topic number 12.
The topic number 12. Why is it important to meet friends from all walks of life? Now I will count down from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You may begin your speech.
Living a life where you don't engage with diversity, frankly, is dangerous. But what is even more dangerous is a life where you thought you've engaged with diversity, but you really haven't. The reason this is important is as we live in a globalizing world, cultures, especially in cities, are becoming more connected and more like each other. I'm from San Francisco, and to be frank with all of you, the average young person from Shanghai or Beijing or Kabul is more like me than many people from rural America within my own country. When you only meet people from the same walk of life as you, for me, that'd be only meeting other university students who might want PhDs or like debate. Yes, you might see diversity, but that diversity ends up being somewhat superficial. For example, it's easy to acknowledge we all like food, especially when that food doesn't have offensive flavors. But what about other more meaningful forms of diversity? What about when our values are different? What about when there are things that are hard to reconcile? What about when people have life experiences that are fundamentally irreconcilable with mine? Because as we all know, that kind of things happen. Use a silly example. I have friends that are from Somalia, and in Somalia, curry is supposed to be slimy. The slimier it is, the better it's considered to be. But there's a fundamental problem, which is I don't like slimy food. And I can understand that might be good because they've been raised to like that. Because there's no objective metric by which food is good. But I can't just overcome this by trying the food, because what will happen is I will not like it, and it will be deeply awkward. But many of us don't know how to deal with awkwardness in our lives. We spend time on our phone, we only have 2 close friends, and we avoid scary social situations like public speaking. When you meet friends from other walks of life, you have to engage with uncomfortable diversity, and you being...
Please remain silent as our ballot counters collect all judging ballots and timing reports.
Today, we invite 11 contestants from around the world, speaking proudly on the stage.
So let's take a short break. We will begin our next section at 4:30 p.m. Thank you.
Mic check, mic check. Check, mic check, mic check.
Wait.
Mic check, 1, 2.
Wait. Wait.
好，有嘅好。好，OK。哦，麻煩啦，呢個地。
Mic check, mic check. Mic check, mic check.
Dear distinguished guests and representatives from universities around the globe, teachers and students, welcome to the World Universities Public Speaking Invitational Championship 2025. We are today's ceremony MCs.
I'm Tao Zhaoyu, a Year 3 student from the Faculty of Arts and Humanities and MLC College.
And I am Edward Alfaro, a Year 2 student in the Faculty of Social Science and CKYC College.
We just watched amazing speeches from contestants all around the world. It was a wonderful display of communication skills and highlights the importance of creating a diverse future together.
The success of the event is attributed to the support of various schools, organizations, and guests. This collaborative effort has been crucial in achieving this event's goals. We are extremely honored today to invite distinguished guests to our event and award ceremony. Let's put our hands together for
Professor Song Yonghua, Rector of University of Macau.
Professor Mok Kai Meng, Vice Rector Mr. Leng Wolong, Representative of Liaison Office of the Central People's Government in the Macau SAR.
Mr. Chen Xuwei, Representative of Macau Education and Youth Development Bureau.
Professor Mok Kai Meng, Vice Rector for Student Affairs of University of Macau.
Mr. Pen Zhizhong, Dean of Students.
Professor Wang Sengfat, Interim College Master of Cheng Yutong College.
Professor Zhang Guoxiang, College Master of Mungzhen Memorial College.
Professor Tam Sik Tong, Interim College Master of Seopong College. Thank you to all the guests for coming and supporting us. Let us welcome them. To commemorate this moment, let's invite the official photographer to go on stage and take a group photo. Now, may we invite Professor Song Yonghua, Rector of University of Macau, to give the welcoming remarks.
Dear distinguished guests, representatives from a university worldwide, faculty, and students, it is my great pleasure to welcome you all to the awarding ceremony of the World University Public Speaking Invitational Championship 2025. This prestigious event brings together excellent public speakers from top universities worldwide. And we're honored to host you here on our campus. Public speaking is far more than the art of spoken words. It is the ability to convey ideas with clarity, passion, and conviction, the courage to speak, and the willingness to listen reflect the very heart of academic explorations and the foundation of vibrant communities. My heartfelt congratulations to every participant who has stepped forward and delivered their very best on stage. I watched the broadcast all through myself. I enjoyed very much. And at the University of Macau, we are deeply committed to fostering a culture of excellence, innovation, and international cooperation. We strive to cultivate a vibrant, diverse, and inclusive academic environment, one that not only nurtures local talent, but also welcomes scholars and students from around the world. The diversity represented in this championship reflects on our belief that the future of education rests upon exchange of perspectives, experiences, and ideas that trans borders. And particularly the topic you choose today, the diversity, celebrate diversity together, and under the current geopolitics, this is a very important topic. Actually, while I watch the broadcasting, first of all, I said I enjoyed it myself. Secondly, I'm very impressed, not just by the way you speak and in particular your thoughts put together on the diversity. And also, I'm very happy and very optimistic of our future, because with you are the future leaders of the world, and I can see we have a great future together and for the humankind. And just as the way we speak the English and so diverse, I'm you know, tell Chinglish. I speak Chinglish like Singlish, and there are from Japan, South Korea, and so on and so forth. And someone even can tell me I'm from Sichuan province. But I worked in the UK for 18 years, so I know the UK quite well. Everybody speak BBC English, that would be very boring. But fortunately, we all got accent. So I'm very happy I got a Sichuan accent to speak Chinglish, okay? So this championship in particular exemplifies our dedication to global engagement. It provides a vital and unique platform for students to showcase their public speaking skills, share their perspectives, and engage in thoughtful, meaningful dialogue that resonates within our global community, as I said. Through such exchange, we lay the foundation for mutual understanding and lasting cooperation, qualities that are increasingly essential in our integrated world. And I hope that our contests from those leading universities, you enjoyed your time here, first in Macau, second in this new university, to some extent, University of Macau. We moved here just over 10 years, and of course, you enjoyed your speech yourself. So in conclusion, I would like to extend my sincere appreciations to all the participants, the judges, and you are very important, the organizers and the supporters, and it is you bring this event here and successful. And next year, and it is the 45th anniversary of this university, and I just talked to our dean of students, and we're going to enlarge this competition. This is to tell you my idea to have this year have only 11 universities to have a trial run and have this ready for next year's celebration of the university 25th anniversary. So we'll invite more universities worldwide to come to this campus. So I hope that some of you will come back again. And so without further ado, and I would like to thank all of you, and hope you enjoyed it like what I enjoyed. And congratulations to all of you, but of course the judge already made this decision on who is the first, the second, and so on and so forth, because it's a competition. They have to make a list of the but from my view, and you all are the first, because as I said, the future rests on your hand. I feel very happy and optimistic. So again, enjoy your time here, particularly those from outside of Macau, and our judges. Thank you again, and thank our organizers and the student affairs office. Thank you.
Thank you, Rector. Please remain on the stage for the ribbon cutting ceremony. Let's invite the honored guests to come on the stage for the ribbon cutting ceremony. Please welcome on stage
Mr. Lei Weng-lok, representative of Liaison Office of the Central People's Government in the Macau SAR.
Mr. Chen Xuwei, representative of the Macau Education and Youth Development Bureau.
Professor Mok Kai-meng, Vice Rector for Student Affairs of University of Macau.
Mr. Peng Zhizhong, Dean of Students, University of Macau.
Let's hand out the golden scissors and ribbon for our honored guests.
Please have your scissors ready, and when I say go, let's cut the ribbon together. On the count of 3. 3, 2, 1, go!
Let's hear it for the inaugural World Universities Public Speaking Invitational Championship! Thank you. Please be seated.
Thank you for the wonderful performances of all the contestants today. Now, may we invite Professor Tan Xizhong to come to the stage to present the appreciation certificates to our contestants. Shi Hua Chen from Peking University.
Xiang Li, University of Macau.
Sang Lee from Korea University.
Kamal Ashraf bin Kamil Jumat, National University of Singapore. Now, let's present the certificates to our 4 contestants. Thank you. Please be seated. Now, let's invite Professor Zhang Guokcheng to come to the stage to present the appreciation certificates to our contestants.
Johnny Zha from Zhejiang University.
Rita Conduto, Lisbon University.
Himene Tanaka from the University of Tokyo.
Xinyi Wang, Tsinghua University. Let's present the certificates to our contestants.
Thank you. Please be seated. Now, let's invite Professor Huang Chenfa to come to the stage to present the appreciation certificates to our contestants. Amy King from Oxford University.
Sofia Lopez Castillo from University of British Columbia.
Benjamin Thomas from Stanford University.
Now let's present the certificates to our remaining contestants. Thank you. Please be seated. With Q&A sections of our competitions, our judges have worked tirelessly to decide on a winner. Now, may we invite Mr. Paul Pang to come on the stage to present the appreciation certificates to the question master. May we invite our question master, Ms. Ida Vong. With 3 sections of our competitions, our judges have worked tirelessly to decide on a winner. Let's welcome on stage our 5 judges.
Mr. Kwang Yo-Yan, 2011 and 2014 World Championship of Public Speaking first runner-up.
Ms. Sherry Su, 2018 World Championship of Public Speaking first runner-up.
Mr. Brian Hodgson, public speaking coach with over 40 years of experience.
Mr. Kevin Go, Toastmasters International District 89 Learning and Development Chair.
Ms. Yuki Wong, professional multilingual MC.
Thank you. Please be seated. After an impressive display of talent and eloquence from all participants, I believe everyone is curious about who will win the award. And now, we are thrilled to announce the winners of this year's speaking competition. We have 3 winners from the English as a foreign language speaker and 3 winners from the main category.
We would like to invite Mr. Peng Zhizhong, Dean of Students, to do the honors of presenting the awards. The first award we will present goes to the second runner-up for English as a foreign language speaker. It goes to Shi Huachen from Peking University.
Congratulations. Thank you. Please be seated. To present the next award, we would like to invite Professor Mok Kai Meng, Vice Rector for Student Affairs of University of Macau, to present the award. The first runner-up for English as a foreign language speaker goes to Xiang Li from University of Macau. Congratulations.
please be seated. We would like to invite Professor Song Yonghua, Rector of University of Macau, to come on stage to present the champion for English as a foreign language speaker. And the award goes to Xinyi Wang from Tsinghua University.
Congratulations to Xinyi Wang for being the champion for English as a foreign language speaker. Thank you. Please be seated. As for our main category, we would like to invite Professor Mok Kai Meng, Vice Rector for Student Affairs of University of Macau, and Mr. Paul Pang, Dean of Students, to do the honors of presenting the award. The second runner-up of the World Universities Public Speaking Invitational Championship 2025 goes to Benjamin Thomas from Stanford University. Congratulations.
Thank you. Please be seated. To present the next award, we would like to invite Professor Song Yonghua, Rector of University of Macau, and Mr. Chen Xuwei, representative of the Macau Education and Youth Development Bureau, to present the award. The first runner-up of the World Universities Public Speaking Invitational Championship 2025 goes to Sofia Lopez Castillo from University of British Columbia.
Congratulations. Thank you. Sophia, please be seated. Our guests, please remain on the stage. Now, for the exciting moment, the champion of the World Universities Public Speaking Invitational Championship 2025 goes to Kamal Ashraf bin Kamil Jumat from National University of Singapore. Congratulations.
Thank you. Please be seated. a big thank you to all our participants for their hard work and dedication. You all inspired us and made this event a memorable one. Let's give a round of applause to everyone who participated. We will now invite the champion for English as a foreign language speaker to perform her speech. A warm round of applause for Xinyi Wang from Tsinghua University and her speech, Minority Moments.
Hello. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure to be here. When we talk about diversity, we often think about racial inclusiveness, gender equality, LGBTQ rights, etc. Those are certainly very important diversity topics, but today I wish to focus on an unconventional minority group. I want to introduce this idea of minority moments. It refers to the fact that most of us might become a minority at some point of our lives. This means the minority group can be all of us. I came up with this idea because I heard two heartbreaking stories. The first one happened recently. I heard it from my grandpa's caretaker, who was a woman from the countryside. She said in her village, there is an 80-year-old woman. She had some chronic illnesses. She had very low pension, and her husband had passed away long ago. But she had nobody to take care of her because all her sons and daughters were working far away from home to support the family. One day, the neighbors found that the woman did not open her door as usual. When they broke into her house, they saw that she had already drunk pesticide. The other story happened 6 years ago. In the city, a high school student jumped off a building. It was the night before a midterm exam. This news came as a shock because he was always very cheerful and optimistic, and he had good grades. But it's also true that his high school was very competitive, and his parents were very strict. These two stories reveal a very painful truth. Rapid development has an unfriendly side. When this process happens, many people become the minority. They're marginalized, overlooked, and trapped. While some may argue that those people are actually big in number, there are so many of them, I want to say that this is exactly the point. The majority can become a minority if they're neglected, if their voices are not heard, if they're weak and fragile and need help. Therefore, I wish to highlight 3 points in my speech today if we want to look for a possible solution. First, collective effort. Now that the economy and technology are thriving, we have better chances than ever to make a great difference. But this cannot be done alone. This should be a collective effort. Second, open our eyes. Start small. Look around us and see what we can change. I actually think young people nowadays, including me, we're living lives that are way too smooth. We're born in big cities, we go to the best schools, but that's not an excuse for us to not see the misery that's happening around us. Third, international dialogue. The problem that I mentioned is not a unique thing that's happening only in one country, but it's happening in many places around the world. This is why I think people from different parts of the world should gather together and share their experiences and stories so that we can learn together, and perhaps this could change the present. This is also why I think this very occasion of a speech contest is a very beautiful embodiment of that kind of international spirit. Now, despite the sad stories that we may hear, I'm actually not so hopeless. The woman who attempted suicide was saved after her neighbors found her, and the boy who jumped off a building also survived. He went back to school 2 years later, and he's getting better. I know that because he used to be in my class, and we used to be friends. In Chinese philosophy, in ancient Chinese philosophy, an ideal, diverse future society should be one in which the elderly are respected, the adults are employed, and the young are taken care of. Now that 2,000 years have passed, we may ask ourselves, are we any closer to that vision? Thank you.
Thank you. Please be seated. We will now invite the champion of the World University's Public Speaking Invitational Championship 2025 to perform his speech. A warm round of applause for Kamal Akrash bin Kamil Jumat from National University of Singapore and his speech, Bringing Tomorrow.
Is this on? Perfect. For most of our lives, we've been told that tomorrow is something to wait for, something that will just arrive. Well, I'm sorry, but that's a lie. In fact, tomorrow's waiting for us. This is something I've learned from my time in Singapore, a country where multiculturalism is built on our very foundation. Every Singaporean pledges themselves as one united people, regardless of race, language, or religion. And after 24 years of seeing these words put into action, I've realized one thing, that to create a diverse future is to actively and consistently take steps toward one another, bridging gaps through action. Now, let me tell you what I mean. See, when I was a kid, I grew up around a very strange language. My Malay parents spoke it, my Chinese neighbors spoke it, and even my Indian teachers spoke it as well. Once I entered school, I then learned that this magical universal language was called Singlish. Yet, how and why it came about was no miracle. See, centuries ago, settlers from China, India, and Europe sailed the seas to live and work in Singapore. And waiting for them were the natives, Malays. So that's 4 communities, countless languages, no common ground, and 2 options. Wait for common understanding to magically appear out of nowhere, or bridge the gap through action. The Founding Fathers chose the latter. Using English as a starting point, they borrowed from languages like Malay, Tamil, Hokkien, and Teochew to form a common tongue. Singlish was born. Today, Singlish is a testament to the hard work put in by these founding communities, living history in every word we speak. A simple invitation to get lunch, or in Singlish, I tell you makan, is a heartfelt stitch in the tapestry of diverse Singapore. So even when I was a kid, the lesson was always clear. A diverse future is one you must take active steps toward to reach. But 10 years later, that lesson came back 10 times stronger, in the heat of flames and the salty spray of the sea. See, 10 years later, I became a conscript in national service, a rite of passage for any Singaporean man. After 1 shaved head and 6 months of training, I became a marine firefighter, tasked with saving lives out at sea. But it was then as a mariner that I learned that any moment could be my last. See, every mission you go on, you carry half your body weight in equipment, facing heat and exhaustion, and in those moments, the difference between saving a life and losing your own is how well you work with the people beside you. But the decision to trust, that is not instinct. That is the product of everyday action. See, let me take a step back. National service brings together people from all walks of life, all races and all religions. And like the Founding Fathers, we had the same options. Wait for something magical to bring us all together automatically, or rally ourselves as brothers in arms. We chose the latter. We spent hours together, from the dinner table to the training ground. We engaged and embraced our shared vision to save lives. And when need be, we broke the ice through good old Singlish. That is where trust comes from. Everyday efforts to build relationships. Now, from the front of the classroom to behind the visor of my fire helmet, I have seen that creating a diverse future doesn't happen on accident. It doesn't just arrive. It waits, and it waits. So, together, let's walk because we should, run if we can, and crawl if we must. Anything to move us forward to bring tomorrow here. Thank you.
Our champion, please remain on stage. Let's invite all guests, judges, question masters, and contestants to take a group photo as the finale of the championship.
Thank you. Please be seated. Let's celebrate not just the winners today, but all contestants who bravely share their stories and ideas. A heartfelt thank you to everyone for making this championship a great success. Now, could we please invite our distinguished guests to leave the venue first? Thank you.
I believe everyone is like me, still immersed in the wonderful speeches that we heard today. Creating a diverse future together is not just a slogan, but a goal that people of all walks of life can come together to discuss. As you leave here today, carry with you the knowledge that your voice matters and believe in the power of tomorrow. See you next time.
UM students, please do the SmartPoint checkout procedure at the reception table. For teachers, if you have applied for a testimonial, please show your identity card to our colleague at the information counter to receive your testimonial. Thank you.